I think that means we're live. I think it happens that fast. Hopefully there's no issues this time with the microphone or anything like that. Do me a favor, folks that are already in here. I see Candy, I see Daniel, I see Barbara, I see Damien, I see Daniel. I think I already said Daniel. I see a bunch of people. Let me know that you can hear me, because we don't want the same thing that we had last time. Good Lord. Let me make sure that we're on here. Yes, we are. Okay. Can you hear me? Are we all good? Audio and sound good. Yay. Okay. Folks, whew. I am so unprepared today. This is bad. It's not bad. I'm still going to do my best to entertain you and have a good time in here today. But yesterday was an absolute fiasco. Now, you can see something going on behind me, though, can't you? It's a big deal. I went yesterday and got some fish, and I could not be more excited. In fact, I have got a little surprise for you. Let's go ahead and do this. Boom. How about that? Look at that. Cool, huh? It's pretty neat what software can do. Sound is still good, hopefully. Yep. Okay. We got a new member, Vince Grippa. That's very cool. Thank you, Vince. Welcome to the team. We are going to talk about that in just a minute. But wanted to talk about my adventures here with these fish, because the trip, getting the fish, the experience of getting the fish, all of that was a blast. Went off without a hitch. I had a great time. However, I bought something the other day. I said, you know what? I'm ready. I'm going to do it. I am all in on this. And so I went out and I spent the money and I did it. I bought the real deal camera. Wow, somebody's already cursing. It's been, what, 2 minutes? Good job. Yeah, that's Candy will take care of that. She's on the road, but who knows? But, you know, it's a shame that people don't know how to speak regular. Anyway, stop looking at the chat, John. Went out and bought the camera. It's the Canon EOS. This is the 200D. It's the same exact camera as the SL2. Ordered it off of Amazon and thought I was getting the SL2, but, you know, didn't pay much attention. And it's the 200D. They're the exact same camera. It's just that the 200D is sold overseas and the SL2 is what is sold in the States. So anyway, the reason why I am telling you about this is there's that camera is a whole lot more complex than using your phone or using a webcam or something like that. So I had a little bit of growing pains with that yesterday. I took the camera with me in the truck. We were talking on the way. Me. I was talking, explaining some things, and just driving down the road, doing like a travel vlog type thing. And none of that footage is going to work. The video looked great, but the problem that I had was I had one of the settings wrong on the audio, and the audio was an absolute nightmare. So I can't even use it. I can't use the footage from the truck. And then also I came home and I recorded 2 videos last night. I did the FX6 video and I did a video on this light, which is the Fluval Sea Marine 3.0 LED. Super excited about it. And I can't use the audio on those either, because basically what it was I had my external microphone, which I have right here. It's the Rode Video Micro. Love that little thing. And it wasn't hooked up. It was hooked up, but the settings didn't have it on. It was recording audio from the camera's microphone. And in this particular room where there's no sound deadening at all, it sounded like I was talking in a tunnel, and it was horrible. So gonna have to redo all of those videos. You're still gonna get a video tomorrow though, so don't worry. But the getting the fish video is gonna be very different than what I had originally planned, because I wanted to do that kind of like a travel style. But instead, we're gonna basically go from me sitting here straight to the fish store. I got a ton of great footage at the fish store. Audio doesn't matter there. So still going to share that with you and talk about the store that I went to. People are going to ask, because they always do, and it's a good thing. We always want to know. Beltway Aquarium is where I went yesterday to buy these fish, and it was a blast. I've been there a few times. If you remember, I'm going to talk about this in the video. Somebody was commenting earlier about the streams that I used to do with Corey. Him and I used to do streams. We did a few of them together. Wow, that one's close. One of them, I talked about how I was working one day, driving down the road, and I looked over and I was like, oh my God, there's a new fish store. Well, that's the one. That's the one that I went to yesterday. And it was awesome. I had a great time over there. So going to share that with you, and I think that's going to end up being tomorrow. The FX6 video was going to be tomorrow, but we know what happened there. So yesterday, got the 7 peacocks set up, the little fish cam here. In case you're wondering, because if you're a YouTuber, you're gonna wonder these things. I have a webcam right there that's on the side of the tank, and I put it there to actually film putting the fish in the tank. And then I saw that and I said, that's pretty cool. It's kind of like Joel's Mr. Chips cam, the dog cam. I said, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna leave that on there and have like a fish cam while we're sitting here talking. So really happy about it. And there you go. So I've got a couple of different views of it that I think will be a lot of fun. And there you go. So what's next? Memberships. Well, I mentioned this earlier. We got a new member already while we were sitting here talking today. You've heard me talk about it in live streams. The last couple of live streams, I was talking about, do I do a Patreon? Do I just hold out and wait until the memberships are available to a channel my size, or till I get to the size where I can do the channels or the memberships? Well, I had a conversation with Corey and he said, John, dummy, they lowered it to 50,000. So 50,000 is the cutoff now to be able to do the, or not cutoff, but that's what you have to have in order to do the memberships. I got somebody coming in the house. The dogs are barking. It's distracting me. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's there. It's ready to go. It's already implemented. We've already gotten a bunch of members over the last couple of days. In fact, I want to do something here real quick. I want to thank, these are the ones that have just come in the last couple of days. Nissy, I'm going to say Nissy. Paul Martin, of course Paul Martin, because he's Paul Martin. Candy Overhauls, again, of course, because she's Candy. Nailtech629, Kenneth Alexander, and Vince Grippa. These are all new members that have come in here within the last couple of days. So very, very cool. I'm so excited about that. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, this is basically YouTube's version of Twitch and Patreon, if that makes sense. It gives you the opportunity to support your favorite YouTube channels by clicking the join button that's next to the subscribe button. If you don't have that button, I've got the link at the very top of the description. If this is something that you want to do, you absolutely don't have to, but if you want to, you can click that link if you don't have the little join button, and it'll take you right to it. And this is it's a membership that you can cancel at any time. It's $5 per month, where with Patreon you can contribute 50 cents a month or $1 or whatever you want. With this, it's $5. So there is your comparison to Twitch. It's the same thing. When you become a member and you pay the it's $4.99, but you know it's $5 a month. When you pay that, you get you become an exclusive member of the KGTropicals team, and we're going to do a ton of really fun things. Now, I've got a guy right now working on, he's supposed to give them to me tomorrow. Not 100% sure, because it's probably going to be a pretty big thing. If he doesn't get it to me tomorrow, I'm not going to be mad at him. This is the same guy that did my logo that you're looking at behind the chat right there, the orange and blue fish. He also did the Tank Talk logo from way back, which was the fish with the microphone and the banner that said Tank Talk. He designed all that for me. So I hit him up and said, hey, this is what I want to do. Can you design these things for me? And he's working on it right now. And what that is little badges. Now, if you look at the chat right now, you see Kenneth Alexander, Sherry Costa, which I didn't think Sherry Costa. Did I? Did I miss that? I feel like a jerk. I don't know how I missed that. It doesn't show up in my thing. So thank you, Sherry Costa. I hope I'm saying your name right. Thank you for becoming a member. If you look next to their names, you see my little logo. It's very small. You also see that they are highlighted in green. That is one of the small perks, is that little badge that every time you comment on any of my videos, or if you say something in the live stream, you're going to get that little badge. Now, that's not the badge that's going to stick around. He is designing those badges for me. I'm not going to tell you what they are because it's a really big secret, and it's going to be awesome when it happens. It's going to be amazing, and I cannot wait for it. I can't wait to see it. Gave him the idea. We bounced back and forth, and he's working on it. He said he'll have them to me tomorrow. We'll have to see. So really, really excited. And I can't wait for that. So again, if you want to become a member, a paid member, you're under no obligation, but I would encourage you to do that because we're going to do a lot of fun things, including private live streams with just me and the members. So in here, it gets pretty hectic. What do we got? Like 182 people in here right now. You're competing with all of those people if you want to put up a comment. Whereas with that, you'd be able to have me all to yourself practically. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then I'm going to work on a lot of other things too. This all happened so fast. I thought I was going to have several months because I thought I was going to have to wait till I had 100,000 subscribers. So I had plenty of time to plan what I was going to do. And then all of a sudden, boom, Corey told me, hey, you can do it right now if you want. And so this all happened really quick, but I'm going to keep rolling out new stuff that I'm going to be doing for members, and it's going to be awesome. So we're going to have a good time in there. Now, okay, so here's what happened. We're going to get into the topic of the day, if you will. I've got a couple of two. I've got two pretty quick topics today. And here's how I got these topics. I went on my community page on YouTube, and I put in there, give me your suggestions of what you would like to see me talk about on the live streams. And a lot of people responded. I think I had like 75 suggestions. And one of them, what I said was, whichever ones get the most likes, those are going to be the ones that I cover. And it worked out pretty good. Got a lot of comments and a lot of suggestions and a lot of people liking all of that stuff. There was a couple in particular. There was three people put up pretty close to the same suggestion. So I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to look at how many likes those got, because if you're all putting up the same thing, then that tells me right there that this is something that people want to know about. And that is getting a fresh start in this hobby. Now, I'm going to kind of combine that with another thing, because there was another comment that said, well, you know what? Let's do this. Let's not jump too far ahead of ourselves. I am going to do that. Ha! Look at this. John's got fancy stuff now. So now we have me, my ugly mug. We have the fish down in the corner. And we have those comments that were put up that are all very similar to each other, talking about getting a fresh start in the hobby. But there was also somebody, I think, and I'm not going to read them all. If it's too small, it's probably too small for you to read. So I'll go ahead and read those. But there was also somebody that commented about balancing YouTube, job, family, all that kind of stuff. I've seen this person's name before, so I'm assuming they are an aspiring YouTuber, and I can certainly comment on that as far as how to keep everything together without going completely crazy. New member, Judy CB, thank you so much. We're going to have so much fun. You're going to be so glad that you did that, and I thank you very much for it. This is exciting, folks. I don't want to go on and on and on about the memberships, because I don't want this to be a big commercial for it. I think it's going to be cool, and I can't wait. So thank you, Judy, for becoming a new member. This is exciting. So what I thought was, there was another one somewhere. There was another comment that was talking about getting a fresh start on YouTube. It might even be one of these. I'm going to read them in a second. And so I thought I would kind of combine all of those, getting a fresh start in the hobby, how it was for me multiple times, because I've taken breaks from this hobby before. And so we can talk about those things. I have nothing prepared to talk about, but we can talk about those things, and we can bounce some ideas back and forth from each other. And then also the YouTube, balancing YouTube life and all of that. How do we do that? So, all right, let me read these comments here real quick. I've got them real small on here, but I think I'll be okay. So Jeremy Smith put up, again, on the community page. I'm going to do this every week. I'm going to put a new comment in the community page. The only way you're going to see that is if you're a subscriber, folks. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, you might as well do that. It'll pop up in your subscription feed that KGTropicals has posted on the community page. You'll look at it, and I'm going to say on there, get your topics in now for future live streams. So this one was from Jeremy Smith. How about getting back in the hobby after a break and how the hobby has changed? For example, since you have been away, I think that people have started to grow away from African cichlids. The new trend seems to be planted nano aquascapes. I agree 100%. He's absolutely right. The next one was Kenneth Alexander, who became a new member of the KGTropicals team today. He said, I think the theme should be a fresh start. Now, these guys didn't collaborate with each other. These are two people putting up their thing that they would be interested in hearing me talk about, and they're just both very similar. For those of us who are just getting into the hobby, and you could talk about the pros and cons of having different species of fish and what to expect on maintaining and upkeeping of those various fish. Thank you very much, Kenneth, for that. And then we got V. Skinner. That totally sounds like the lead singer of a hair band's name. That's just an awesome name. I like the fresh start idea. I joined you just as you left and watched your old stuff to help me start out. I think there's quite a few people who have joined your channel while you've been gone. So with him, with V, what a cool name. I think he's probably talking about the fresh start, maybe with both YouTube and fish keeping, who knows. But it kind of works for both of those. So yes, thank you to those three individuals that put those posts up. Thank you to them. I don't have anything prepared as far as addressing these things, but it's actually a pretty simple thing to do. Let me get you a bigger view of the fish. It's bouncing back and forth, I know that. But new member, Alan Wilson. That sounds like the guy next door. That you talk to him over the fence and you can only see from here up. I'm a Tim Allen fan. I am a Home Improvement fan, and that was Wilson, the neighbor on Home Improvement. But anyway, thank you so much, Alan Wilson, for becoming a new member of the team. This is going to be a lot of fun. And yes, if you're wondering, folks, super chats and new memberships will absolutely get you a shout out on these live streams. And having said that, there is someone that is saying, but wait a minute, that one was also Judy CB. I love that, Judy CB. She not only put in a super chat, but she also became a new member. This is my new best friend here, folks. So super chats, new memberships, you will get a shout out from me on here. So yeah, if that's a thing for you, then cool. I'll definitely do it. I'm going to do my best to shout everybody out as much as I can, but that's a guarantee that you will get shouted out if you do that. So fresh start with the hobby. I've had a couple of breaks. It could be, I need to cover up the chat because the same thing's happening that happened last time, folks. I'm not ignoring you, but what I like to do, I like to have some substance to these live streams. Q&A is a blast and I love it. And it's spontaneous, and that's a good shot of the yellow. Look at that. But I like to have a little topic. I like to have something that I can put in the title and, concentrate on for a little bit. And if I am constantly staring at the chat, then I'm never going to be able to do that. So, but when there is a super chat that pops up, I must be distracted by that. And this is, oh boy, I'm going to say it's Zoo Ping 2. Again, what a cool name. That sounds like somebody that would be like on the Olympic gymnast team or like I don't know. That's really cool. Thank you so much. Is that going to be a thing now? I'm going to try to figure out what people's names sound like. But thank you very much. Again, Zoo Ping 2. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm not going to be able to talk today, folks, because everybody's doing all of this. Thank you for Thank you for the $9.99 super chat. And then we have Natasha Stone has decided to become a member of the KGTropicals team. So this is awesome. I tell you what I'm going to do. All of you are going to get shout outs, but I'm going to stop interrupting. And what I'm going to do, though, is take little breaks and announce everybody that has become new members and all that kind of stuff. This is a lot of fun. And the super chats and all that. But let's talk about a fresh start, because there's going to be those people that 6 months from now are going to put up a comment on the channel that's going to say, fast forward to 21 minutes. You're welcome. Those people. Happens every day. Especially with me being somebody that runs my mouth as much as I do. Some of my older videos were, oh God, it was bad. So in my 25 years of fish keeping, there has been times where I've taken breaks. And it could be breaks because you moved, or, I took my tanks down one time when my father passed away, and it turned my life upside down. And my ex-wife and I moved right after that. My mother asked us to move in with her to help her. She had never been alone before. And my dad's death was very sudden. And so she instantaneously was like, I need you here. And so we did that. And so I took all the tanks down. I was not going to bring my tanks to my mom's house. We moved in with her. And it was good for us because we were able to kind of dig ourselves out of the hole. So anyway, who cares about my history? We took a break, and it was probably 2 years that we were away then. Now, back then, you have to understand, technology did not change as rapidly as it does now. It's not like I left, we're talking about 1997 to like 1999. Technology wasn't what it is now. There wasn't LEDs. There wasn't cell phone apps for your phones. There wasn't digital heaters. It was just like bare bones, easy, Stone Age type stuff. So there wasn't a whole lot of innovation when it came to coming back to the hobby after that break. But the really good thing about it, and that it's kind of the best thing about a break, is when you get that fresh start, you get to start from scratch. And so one of the fun parts is thinking like, all right, I've got these tanks, I've got this stuff. What am I going to do with it? And that's fun. I had a good time with this one when I was thinking about it. I was like, all right, can I put up one of my 125s in here? That's a little bit risky. I don't know if I'm going to want to do that. Maybe I'll just go to something a little bit smaller. If I'm going to go with the 125s, am I going to want to do discus with a heavily planted tank? That way I'll fit in with the aquarium co-op crowd. Or do I want to go saltwater? I mean, I know a little bit about that now. Do I want to go with Africans? That's fun for me, is to look at those things and just figure it out, what I want to do. Now, of course, again, stop looking at the chat, John. It was a pretty easy decision for me to go with these guys. That guy right there on the camera, not the yellow, but the OB, he's a rock star. You better watch that guy. Oh, Lord have mercy. Look at him. Woo! Yes, that guy is something. He's been getting a lot of close-ups in that fish cam there. But you see how excited I am about that fish? Part of the reason why is because I was away for a little bit. Now, I never really took a break from fish keeping. And here's what I mean by that. This current break that I was on the last year, I took a break from YouTube for a year. I never got out of fish keeping except for the few months when we moved. But in that short period of time, the 3 months that I had no fish tanks at all, when I came back to it, that feeling of excitement, that just, it's almost like I'm going to an amusement park. That is huge right now. And I think it is because of that break. It's so exciting for me when I see that OB, who is, of course, my favorite fish in this tank. And I think he's going to be everybody's favorite fish in there. I don't care what you think about hybrids. I think he's going to be the rock star of the tank. And when I saw him, I got so excited. And 6 months ago, probably wouldn't have. I'd have been like, it's a nice fish. But because I'd been away for a little bit, it was super exciting to come across a fish like that. The analogy that I like to use is if you separate from your spouse or girlfriend, boyfriend for a couple of weeks for some reason. I'm not saying break up. I'm saying if your old lady, that's what we call them here in Virginia. We call them old ladies. If your old lady goes on a business trip or goes to spend 2 weeks with her mother or something like that, after a few days, you start to miss her. You start to realize how much you take your time with her for granted. And then when she comes home, so it's like, woo, you have a huge party and it's so exciting. And it's like you're that new relationship again. Well, that's kind of how this feels for me. It's like I was only gone a short period of time. I was gone for YouTube for a while, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Like, it's really exciting. The same excitement for YouTube as I do for the fish. But now that I'm back, having only been gone a few months, it's so exciting. All of it is so exciting for me. I get a new light from Aquarium Co-op and it comes in the mail, and I'm like so excited. I was working and I got the notification from Amazon. I couldn't wait to get home and unbox that light and put it on this tank. It's like, it's so exciting. It's exhilarating. And it wouldn't have been that way 6 months ago. So taking the break for me, it gives you a newfound excitement for it. Now, I'm not saying that everybody should take a break. I'm not saying you should just walk away for a little bit and then you'll get excited again. I'm not saying that. We're all fish keepers for life. We all know that. But what I will say is that for me, that's always been the biggest thing. There's always something new that pops up that after I've been on my break, I see this new thing and I'm like, oh, wow, that is the most incredible thing I've ever seen. I can't wait to get back into this. And it brings back that excitement. Look at him posing. Check him out. You knew I was going to have an albino. So that's the biggest thing with the fresh start in the hobby for me. Now, as far as technology and things like that have improved since my break, I can't really say that that's even true because I was only gone a few months. But if you are somebody that took a couple of years off, and that happens, and then you're coming back, you're going to be like, good Lord, what is all of this? How come all the tanks are small now? And how come they're all compact and they look like little art projects? And everybody's talking about fancy aquascaping, and it used to be you just put an Oscar in there and you fit in with the crowd. Things do change drastically. The one guy commented that the trend is going away from African cichlids. I don't disagree with that at all. I think it probably is. But then again, there's always going to be the African cichlid people. It's not like people are just going to stop buying them and they're going to go from the hobby. That's never going to happen. There's always going to be people that are going to still want those. I see Tazawa Tanks is in here with us. You've seen his tanks. He's got an African cichlid tank. He's got a planted tank. He's got this. He's got that. He's got a whole bunch of them. And he's got big arms too that I'm jealous of. But anyway, that got kind of weird. But you see these people, including the way I used to be, where you've got all of it. You keep a bunch of stuff, and I'll always have an African cichlid tank. That's never going to change. But I don't think that the Africans are ever going to go anywhere. But for me, the idea of getting an African cichlid tank, putting a 75-gallon tank here with male peacocks, that is what got me excited. That's what got me thinking like, oh my God, I have to do this now. It took me from, sounds like a good idea, to I got to do it. I got to do it right now. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know really what more to talk about it. If you're somebody that is just coming into the hobby and you've never had a fish tank before, that's a completely different subject. That's something that I'm actually covering in my videos of setting up this tank. And I've also covered in my ultimate guide to your first aquarium. If you've never kept fish and you stumbled upon this live stream because you're thinking about setting up your first fish tank and you've made it this far through my babbling, check out my ultimate guide to your first aquarium series that I did. That's going to explain everything to you. That's a completely different deal than somebody that has taken a break and they come back and there's a bunch of new stuff and all of that kind of stuff. So now the only thing I will say as far as change in the 3 months that I was gone, you can't really say that I was only gone 3 months because my excitement and my enthusiasm for the hobby did fade. I still took care of my tanks. I still did what I had to do, but I wasn't exhilarated by the hobby. So it maybe was a bit longer of a break than I'm saying. But in the time that I did take that break, there was that shift. Like, it seems like it shifted in a big way to the smaller nano, the Fluval all-in-one compact tanks. I know other companies make them too, but I'm a Fluval guy. Deal with it. It did seem to happen like fast. I knew it was happening. Corey and I talked about it. It's something that I've known is coming, but it seems like it really took effect in that break that I was on. So when you come back and everybody's talking about smaller tanks and really pretty aquascapes and stuff like that, there's nothing wrong with that. That's awesome. I mean, that's really cool. I love the nano tanks. I think the nano tanks are a lot of fun. I'm going to put one right there where that gimbal's sitting. And the Cokes are going to move. Those are like 30 years old, folks. In case you're wondering, these bottles of Coke and this bottle of Coke, there's a bottle of Pepsi somewhere too. I think it's up there near the NASCAR stuff. But I was in a customer's house, and he was a Coke collector, which I'm a wannabe Coke collector. And he had all of these. It was a Christmas thing. You can see Santa Claus on it. I don't know if they're 30 years old, but they're very, very old. And he had a bunch of them. He collected them when they were actually sold. And this was an old guy. He was like 80. And he was like, take those with you. You can have them. There's another one up there. See that one? There's another one. And that one has a bunch of NASCAR drivers on it. Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, I think. Some of your old school drivers. But that one's a lot newer than this one is. Anyway, that's what there. That's going to move. And then I'm going to put my 3-gallon spec right there. Thinking about doing shrimp, because I've been listening to and watching a lot of Rob's videos, listened to the Aquarist podcast with Rob on it, and it got me excited about shrimp again. So I might do shrimp in that tank. But the only thing with that, the only problem with that is you'd never see them unless I did a shrimp cam. How about that? All right. Anyway, nanos are definitely a thing right now. They're a big thing. And it's cool. I think it's awesome. I love seeing how people like Aqua Pros and Corey and Joel, and I never really know. Corvus, is it Oskin or is it Ocean, or I don't know. I love his channel and I watch a lot of his live streams and I love his dog, but I don't know how to say that word. Is it Ocean? Is it Oskin? I've always thought it was Corvus Ocean, but I'm an idiot. Look at me. So, but what he does with his aquascapes and all of that, I love it. It's awesome. Green Machine. I could never do it. I'd be happy to have those guys come here and do that for me, but I love seeing that stuff. I loved watching it at the Aquatic Experience in 2015. I'm thinking they're going to do it again at this one, so that'll be a lot of fun. Remember, I'm going to be there. You guys got to come and say hello if you are going to be in the area. Got to come to that show. It's going to be funny. Oskin. Okay, that's what I kind of started to think, but for the longest time I thought it was Ocean. I never even paid attention to the way it was spelled. I just saw like OS, and I was like, oh, that must be Ocean. Corvus Ocean. That sounds like the name of a company or whatever. Anyway, so you could say that, you know, one of the main points here would be if you take a break, there can be a big shift in the way fish keeping is. I mean, when I first came into the hobby, 1999, was it 99? It was earlier than that. It was way earlier than that. What am I thinking? It was like 93. If you had a 75-gallon tank, you were like elite. Like, you were the real deal fish keeper, gung-ho. Like, people admired you if you had a 55-gallon tank. If you had a 125 or 150-gallon tank, you were in another stratosphere. It would be comparing me to a channel like Joey's, like a whole nother world away. And Corey, too. I mean, he's light years away from me. You were in another class if you had a tank that big, and you were also rich back then. But then you take a break and you come back 3-4 years later, and a 55-gallon is a starter kit. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, I can go to Walmart and buy a 55-gallon tank with a Penguin 350 and a light, a LED light. What? And it's only like 200 and something bucks. Like, oh my God, this is insane. That happened to me. I couldn't believe it. I was like, tanks used to be smaller. You know, if you had a 30-gallon, you were like a member of the group. But then, you know, you had to get a 55 if you wanted to be a member of the elite. But anyway, that's how it was then. Whereas 3-4 years ago, you had people with 800-900-gallon tanks, and a 150-gallon tank on YouTube was small. Like, oh, that's just another guy with a 150-gallon tank. No big deal. I have a 240. I've had two 240s, and it's like, it's just kind of like an average, size tank for YouTube. And then now, you know, you take a break again, and now you come back, and everybody's doing these small tanks with little aquascapes and one beta. You know, it's weird how that happens. But all in all, it is people that are excited about keeping fish in glass boxes, and that's what we need. And as long as we're excited about it, then who cares? Whatever is exciting to you, that's what you're going to go with. You don't have to go with the trends. I didn't. I mean, how many people are setting up 75-gallon tanks now? I mean, not very many, because everybody wants the smaller tanks or the giant ones. So anyway, I don't know. Like I said, because of everything that happened yesterday with the horrible audio, the tragic situation with my video, multiple videos, I got all discombobulated and had no real preparation for today. So I'm just winging it. We're just talking here. We're just having a conversation. The other thing that happened yesterday, which I wanted to watch the fight last night, but I didn't want to pay for it because I was sitting here by myself. The only way I would have paid for it is if I had people over. Lisa's oldest son, he went to watch the fight with his boys, and I was like, well, I would have your boys here and we could watch the fight, but I don't want you drunk bastards being here. No way. Get out of here. So I wasn't going to pay for it if I was watching it by myself. So he told me, hey, go on Reddit and you can stream it. So I tried that, ended up getting some kind of freaking browser hijacker on my computer, and I was dealing with that till like 1 o'clock in the morning last night. It sucks to be on a computer in 2018. Why do people try so hard to screw with your stuff? Hate it. So anyway, I didn't even get to see that fight last night. I'm kind of glad because I would have been rooting for Conor anyway, and that would have made me angry. But anyway, let's move on now. Let's talk about this other one. I got to switch this around. There we are. Now, I'm going to say Q Aquatics. It's not Key, is it? It's Q. Q Aquatics asked how to balance YouTube, family, and a job or two. And this I can certainly relate. It's easy for me to answer this because I have done this with young children. I've been doing YouTube now for 7 years. I've done this with little kids, and now they're all not so little anymore. And so I can kind of speak to it, and I've had full-time jobs all along this whole time that I've been doing YouTube. So it's pretty easy for me to talk about from all different angles. And then after this, I will go through the chat and we will talk and we will thank some new people and we will do all of that. So balancing YouTube and family, I think the first thing, if you are an aspiring YouTuber, first of all, you should take absolutely zero advice from me because look at what I've done. Yeah, you look at the numbers and you say, oh, his channel's grown by 2,500 subscribers in the last week. He's got 72,000. He must know what he's talking about. I know what I'm talking about, but I don't do what I'm talking about. So I'm one of those situations where you know how people say, do as I do, not as I say. I'm going to say it the opposite way. Do as I say, not as I do. Or is that actually how people say it? Who cares? So I know what to do. I know how to manage it. I know how to grow a YouTube channel. It's just that I don't always do what you're supposed to do. So the first thing that I would recommend to anybody that is an aspiring YouTuber is decide what it is that you want to be. Do you want to be Joey? Do you want to be Dustin? Do you want to be Corey? I would put Dustin and Corey. I'm not comparing those two guys, but I would put those two guys kind of in the same category in that they have a fish-related business and their YouTube channel supports that. I used to be in that category too, where you have a business that you're promoting with your channel while creating good educational content. You're at the same time promoting your business. Is that what you want to do? Do you want to be a vlogger? Do you want to decide what you want to do with the channel? What is the goal of the channel? And then that's going to determine kind of like the level that you need to put into it. What I mean is if you're somebody that you just want to be a part of the community, you just want to put videos out and you just want to be a part of something and you've got this really cool community that you're a part of, you want to be able to show people your tanks and show people the new light that you got and stuff like that. No rules apply to you if you are going to do that. Just do whatever you want to do. You don't need the best camera. You don't need the best audio. You don't need the best editing or nothing like that. Just put your videos out and have a good time with it. But if you're somebody that wants to actually make YouTube a career, which Corey, Joey, Solid Gold, I mean, and hundreds of thousands of people on other genres of videos have proven that you can do that, you're going to be looking at it completely differently. You're going to be spending money on cameras and software and microphones and light kits and all of these different things. Some people wear makeup. Obviously, I don't. You're going to be looking at it completely differently because you're going to be wanting to put together a more polished and professional production than somebody that just wants to be a part of the community. Now, I'm not doing a whole thing on how to be a successful YouTube channel here, because obviously I'm not the guy for that. But the reason why I'm bringing all of that up is once you make that decision, I've got something going on my forehead here. Once you make that decision, then you're going to need to be able to, or then you're going to be able to figure out what you're going to be able to put into it. Okay, I hope I'm making sense here. So if you're somebody, Q Aquatics, if you've got the name Aquatics in your channel name, then you're probably wanting to grow and progress through YouTube and all of that, and you want to do it in a professional way. The biggest piece of advice I would give when it comes to being able to create that professional looking production and with the editing and all of that, you don't necessarily need to spend a lot of money, but what you do need to spend is time. And what I would tell you is plan that time out. Don't just say, I'm going to go make a video. You can't do that, because if you've ever tried to make a video with any kind of substance whatsoever and you just try to wing it, it's kind of like this. It just falls apart and turns into a huge mess. You need to have a plan. You need to know what you're going to do going in. I'm not saying you need to write a script, but you need to know what you're doing going in. So if you're somebody that has a job and children, young children, and maybe a part-time job on top of that, and you're coaching softball in the evenings, we're talking about me here, folks. This is what I've been doing for years. If you've got all of that, you have to have a plan. And you have to set aside a block of time that you're going to record your videos. So you make your plan, you know what videos you're going to do. You do kind of like an outline of what you're going to talk about. I have an outline for this this stream. I'm going to read it to you. Welcome everyone. Then I just got bullet points: new fish, bad video footage, memberships, thank new members, fresh start with YouTube. That's what I've written down on my little outline here. So if you have an outline like that, you have guidance, you know where you're going to go. When you do block out that 2 hours to sit down where you lock yourself in a room and you're going to make your videos, you can concentrate and you know what you're going to do and you can bang it out. That's the way I do it now. My job that I have is very demanding. I work a lot of hours. I've got 5 kids. I help coach softball. Well, she quit the team, so I don't do that anymore. But anyway, I got a lot of stuff going on. And I have this YouTube channel. I have designated blocks of time that I commit to it. As far as getting the lights set up, getting the camera set up, the audio, getting everything set up, and I sit down and make videos. All of the other time, if I have free time, I'm editing or I'm coming up with my video ideas and writing outlines and stuff like that, doing research. So that's stuff that I would do in my leisure time. So that's how I do it. That way I'm fully prepared. And when it comes time to sit down for those couple hours, I do it all. And what I would suggest to you, if you're balancing YouTube and family and jobs and all of that, make the best use of that block that you set out there and do multiple videos. Do, 2 or 3 videos. This way, all you have to really concentrate on from that point on is editing and all of that kind of stuff. And then you're gold. If you can get a couple of videos in that 2-hour block, then you're not separating yourself from your family every couple of days to go and make videos. I hope that helps. That's how I've always done it. I've always used my leisure time to do my research, come up with a plan, put things together, get an idea of what I'm going to do, write outlines. That way I'll say, okay, Saturday after softball practice, I'm going to come home and I'm going to spend 2 hours recording. And that's what it is. And I tell everybody in the house, I'm going to be recording, so shut up. And I go down and I use those couple hours to really get a lot of footage together that I can then edit in my leisure time. So that's how I do it. Tazawa's going to the gym. Shocker, right? Yeah, that's why he looks the way he does, and I look like this. So anyway, I hope that helps. Like I said, I am completely winging this today. Not prepared at all. Shame on me. Let's see if I have some people to thank. And then we're going to start looking at your comments. I know we had a new member pop through. Is that Natasha Stone? We already talked about, didn't we? Yep, we mentioned that one. And Carlos, I'm going to say it, Nieves. That's how I'm going to pronounce your name. Thank you so much for becoming a new member of our team. We're going to have so much fun together. I am so glad to have you with us. And Wes Barshinger, I think I said it right last time, and you You said I said it right last time. Was that you? With the $2 super chat, sweet shirt. Thank you so much. This is, I'm a Flash guy. I've been a Flash guy ever since birth. I think I came out of the womb and I was like, Barry Allen, you know, that Wally West. Anyway, I'm an idiot. I've been a Flash guy my whole life. And this was a gift from David, Lisa's oldest son, my stepson. He sent this to me from California. There's like a DC store there in California. And when he was there, he sent it to me, and it's awesome. It's actually like it's a DC branded shirt. It's not like some Walmart shirt, of which I have multiple of. So don't take offense to that. But this one is like the actual DC shirt. So love it. I'm a Flash guy. So, all right. Let's see if we can go through some of these comments. I don't have any other new members to thank, do I? This is exciting. What have we gotten? Like 6 new members in this one little live stream here. That's awesome. See you later, Zenzo. Have a good one, mate. Make those gains. Yeah, God, wouldn't that be nice? He's always making those gains. All right, which chat am I going to read here? Am I going to cover myself up here? Because this one likes to jump around. All right, so now I'm going to open this up to all of you. I'm going to open it up to you to ask whatever you want, and hopefully I can answer it. But there's one thing about me. If this is your first time joining one of my streams, one of the things you'll learn about me is if I don't know the answer, I'm going to say, I don't know. You should go to this guy. Because I'm not going to try to BS my way through it. That's just not my style. Alan Wilson says, new Flash season returns on Tuesday. You don't think I knew that? Come on now. Of course I knew that. I'm super excited about that. Love that show. Of course I do. I mean, that show, it's kind of like the movies out there now. I'm going to like them. I mean, I don't care what the movie is. I haven't seen Venom yet. I mean, it just came out 2 days ago. But people go into these movies and they rip them apart. Oh, DC movies suck and Justice League was the worst and all that. I'm like, what are you talking about? I love it. I love all of these movies because I go into it knowing I'm going to love it because I'm there to enjoy a movie. I'm not there to be a movie critic. John would collab flawlessly with Joel, I think. I think so too. I just haven't talked to him yet. But I'm going to because I got an idea that I think is going to be big and I think he'd be all over it. Caleb loves the shirt. Well, I love Caleb. So, hey, how that works out perfect, doesn't it? Hopefully he's sitting there in the car with you watching. Hey, Caleb, how are you? I hope everything goes well tomorrow. I know it will because you're a fighter and you're awesome. How big are your fish? Okay, so if you look at these guys, they came from 3 different tanks, and I'm pretty confident that they're all males. The one that I am a little bit shaky on would be that albino. If you see, let's make this a little bigger here so that you can see the fish a little bit better. There we are. So I'm sitting here pointing at him with my mouse like you can see that. The 2 OBs, the one that's right there very close, is he's about 3.5 inches, I guess. And then the big guy is about 5 inches. So they came from 3 different tanks. The smaller ones, there's 3 of them that are about 3 inches. And then there's 3 of them that are about 3.5. And then the big guy is about 5 inches. All different prices. But the prices were very reasonable. The smaller ones, which would be the albino, the sulfurhead, which just swam by, and one of the other ones. Which one was it? The yellow. The yellow one. Those 3 were $15.99 for males. Really? The Regal Blue, which you see right there, the smaller of the 2 OBs, and the Firefish, which you also... Nope, that's the albino. The Sunshine Firefish, whatever, there he is. Those were all $19.99. And then the big OB, which Lisa has named Jeb. And the Firefish she named Shay. Oh, look at Jeb. Check him out. That's Jeb. He was $30. Now, if you think about this, $30 for a 5-inch male OB that looks like that, and this isn't doing it any justice, folks. He's got a lot of red in him. He's a gorgeous fish. $30? Are you crazy? I had to pick him up. So yeah, that's what they cost over at Beltway Aquariums. Yeah, there. Look at Jeb. I don't know. Oh, hello. He's yelling at us. Check that out. All right. So there you go. What haps normally do well? He came back. I told him. He asked this before we started, and I told him, come back and ask it, and I will answer your question. The answer to your question, 1974 Scouser, what haps normally do well with Alanicaras, and which haps should I avoid putting in with my Alanicaras? I have not found haps to be bad with peacocks. I think they're almost a marriage made in heaven. They are perfect. Now, you're going to get some bad seeds, and there's nothing you can do about that. You can't see it going in, and it's just going to happen. But if your question is more of which ones can I put in there that are going to be similar in size to the peacocks, that's a question that's a little easier to answer, because there are some haps that stay on the smaller side, like the Taiwan Reef hap, which is one of my absolute favorites. You look at a full-grown Taiwan Reef next to a full-grown Venustus, it's night and day, or a Fusco, or Livingstoni. I mean, you're talking about Venustus like this, where the Taiwan Reef is going to be right around the same size as a peacock. The electric blue Alis and the yellow blazes and things like that, they don't get massive. They get bigger than peacocks, but they're more of longer, but they're not super long like a trout. You know what I mean? They're going to be comparable in size to peacocks. Most of them are going to stay around the same size as peacocks will. Now, I'm the guy that's going to tell you there is no hap that you should avoid putting with a peacock. I mean, except for if you got a 13-inch Malawi trout, don't put a 2-inch peacock in there with him for obvious reasons. That is something that we would obviously want to avoid. But as far as their compatibility, will they get along with each other? Yeah, they absolutely will. I've done it 100 times. Look at my older videos. You'll absolutely see that they get along fine. Angelfish looks like it's gasping for okay, I think you missed. There we go. Let's try this again. Angelfish is gasping for air and eyes are big and cloudy. I'm doing salt water bath and I did a water change. What else can I do to help it? Oh man, disease control is something that I am not the best at. Because of the cloudy eyes, I'd be looking into some antibiotics, something like a erythromycin. I could be wrong there. I'm the guy that when I have problems like this, I ask others, because it is kind of overwhelming and I get scared and I don't want to do the wrong thing. So, but good, clean water. I will tell you this. Was it Natasha that asked that question? What happened here? Yep, Natasha asked that question. I will tell you this, Natasha. Good, clean water is the absolute best medicine for fish. It's a fact. The cleaner the water, the better your fish's chances are of recovering from whatever it is it has. Think about it. If you fall down and scrape your knee and the ambulance comes, what's the first thing they do? They put oxygen on you. I put my finger in my eye. What an idiot. They put an oxygen mask on you. They do it all the time. It's almost like standard procedure, kind of like if they're going to drop an IV, they put saline in you. It's automatic. The reason why they do that is because they know that your recovery is going to be so much faster and easier if you have good, clean oxygen. So that's why they do that. I'm certainly not a doctor. Of course I'm not. But I know that's why they do it. And good, clean water is the same thing. If your water is terrible and it's dirty and scummy, some people say, no, it'll be too stressful if I do water changes while my fish is going through this. That is absolutely false. Do your water changes. Keep that water clean. I would look into some antibiotics, and I hope that that helps out. And I would test ammonia, because if there is something in your tank that you can control, you can take care of that really quick. And deep breathing, deep gasping is, it's almost like a human being deep gasping. There's obviously something going on. And I would immediately start water changing. Did you see that? Did that come up on camera? I had a fly in my coffee. I love this. This is just wonderful. It adds a little spice to the coffee. Candy says, we're all listening. And there's Corvus. Oh, hey. Did he hear me talking about him? Is that why he's here? Somebody say, that bald guy, that weirdo, he's talking about you, so you should go over there and yell at him? Is that why you're here, Joel? How do you know which African cichlids are good with each other when ordering online? Listen, folks. Thomas Works. I am the person that will tell you that if you're buying African cichlids that are Lake Malawi African cichlids, peacocks, haps, imbunas, they can go together, all of them. Are there going to be people that have labeled some meaner than others? Yes. Could I give you a list of ones that I have experienced being meaner than others? Yes. But they're all compatible. Now, when you start talking about Tanganyikans and, you're not going to put Venustus with shell dwellers. You're not going to do that. So it does get a little trickier when you're talking about mixing Tanganyika with Malawi. If you're sticking with Malawi, you're good. Now, there are the people, and I'm not going to argue with these people. I'm just giving you my opinion. There are the people that would say you need to do a peacock tank, a hap tank, or an imbuna tank. You can't mix them. And it's just not true. I've done it so many times. It's just not true. So I don't know. I hope that helps you. I hate this chat. I just hate it. Everybody's going crazy because Joel is here. And they should be. The guy's a superstar. Look at him. Look at the guy. Of course he's a superstar. Now, I don't know if he's been here the whole time or if he just came on, but maybe you can help me, Joel, and explain to me what that word is. Is it supposed to be ocean? Is it Oskin? What is it? Because I don't know. And I don't want to call people by their wrong name. I know that's not your last name, but I want to know what that is. So, okay, I missed something here. I have a 50-gallon African cichlid tank. I have 10 various cichlids in the with a sand substrate. Can I put a Pleco in there with them? The pet store said I can't because of my substrate. I've done it. I'm not a huge fan of Plecos in a sand tank. I'm not a huge fan of Plecos in an African cichlid tank, but I've certainly done it many times. I don't know, in my experience, that having them in a sand tank is any different than a gravel tank. They are messy and they're going to move things around, but I don't know that that's any worse. But maybe I'm just stupid, and I don't know. Okay, everybody's saying hi to Joe. I have scrolled back here, folks. So if you've just recently put up a comment and I'm not talking about it yet, it's because I'm a little bit behind. I took a 5-year break due to a divorce and relocating a few times. I jumped back on it a year and a half ago and didn't realize how much I missed it. Always with African cichlids. See, there you go. You get that excitement again. And it goes back to what I was talking about, where you're away from your old lady for a couple of weeks and you don't realize how much you miss her till she comes back. So there you go. John, you need a Star Trek logo for that shirt. Kirk. I've never been a Star Trek guy. I don't dislike it, but I'm not one of those guys. I like Star Wars a lot. Never been the Star Trek guy. I don't know. I liked it as a kid, the Spock and Kirk and the Shatner version. And I met Leonard Nimoy when I was a police officer. But anyway, I liked that as a kid, but I was never into the movies and all that kind of stuff. Here we go. New member, folks. Mike De Oliveria. De Oliveria. I hope I'm saying that name right. I hope so. Welcome to the team, my friend. We are going to have some fun. This is going to be awesome. People are thanking Mike. Hi, I'm from Wales, UK. Do you still have the saltwater tank? I do not. I actually rehomed that saltwater tank to a good friend of mine, and he is enjoying the heck out of it. So I have 2 big blood parrots, and I added my other one from another tank. They chase him, her. I gave her a place to escape. Should probably not worry too much. If there's somewhere for her to go, or him to go, to retreat, and it's safe, hopefully it'll calm down. But one of the things that I've always known is that if the fish are mean, they're never going to not be mean. I mean, sometimes you get lucky and things turn around, but a lot of times they won't. Once they're a jerk, they're always going to be a jerk. So I would definitely keep an eye on that. There it went again. God, I hate YouTube. Yeah, I accidentally called you Joe. I don't think you were talking to me. When you treat sick fish with medicines that after filter in a hospital tank, do you bother to even use cycle media, or do you just do daily water changes? You're talking about how you have to remove the carbon and things like that from it. That doesn't change anything that I do. If I got to put something in there, the reason why you have to take the carbon out, or those type of biofiltration, not biochemical filtration, sorry. The reason why you have to do that is because its whole purpose is to remove the things like the medicines. So you have to take those out so that it'll be effective. But it doesn't really change anything that I do. I just take them out, and then when the whole, outbreak or whatever is over, I put a fresh one in and I'm good to go. I don't know if that helps you or not, but any tips on converting wild-caught Tanganyika and compressiceps to eat cichlid pellets and flakes? I sure would love to get wild compressiceps. They're not going to go in here, but I have experienced that people are going to hate me for this. I shouldn't even say it. When a fish is hungry enough, it's going to eat. You might need to experiment a little bit. Try some flakes, try some smaller foods. But when they're hungry enough, they're going to eat it. A lot of people would tell you go to something like a Repashy, which is easier and blah, 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 blah. I've never used it. Well, I've used it, but I've never been like one of those Repashy people. I like it. It's cool, but you have to experiment is what you have to do. My local fish store does not have all the African cichlids in the world. Should I see what they can get in or buy online? I mean, buy online, Vito. It's not that big of a deal. When I first started my YouTube channel, buying fish online was still one of those kind of like taboo things. Like hardly anybody ever did it. It was really just starting to become popular. But now it's like, whatever. I mean, the shipping is so reliable now, thanks to Jeff Bezos. It's nothing to worry about. It costs you a little more because of the shipping, but just order them online. Everything is available to you online. So, you won't have a problem at all. Afternoon from London. Wow. How about that? Okay. So Joel is saying Oskin is Latin also. Is it Oskin? I don't know. That's what I'm asking you. I don't know how to say it. Maybe that's because I just haven't watched enough of your videos or something. Saying Oskin is like saying killifish name. No one knows if we're saying it right. Yeah, there you go. And Mbuna. Another one that I love, and I actually love correcting people on it, is the African cichlid Mbuna, the Demasoni. I've had so many people mispronounce Demasoni. If you're not familiar with Demasoni, it's one of the most gorgeous Mbunas. It's my favorite Mbuna. It's the black barred blue gorgeous Mbuna. I've heard it called Demasoni, Demasani. I've heard it called all different kinds of things. I know the guy that discovered that fish. Well, it's not like he's a friend I can call him, but I've been to his house. I've been to his farm, and his name's Demason. It's not Demason, or it's not Demason. So, I'm a little cocky when it comes to that one, but that's because I know the guy, and I know how he says his name, and he's the one that named the fish. And so I know it's Demasoni because he told me. So that one's kind of fun. So anybody that ever says that one wrong, you can correct them now. And I guarantee you will win that argument every single time. True, Corvus. Oskin. I keep missing your streams because of work. Quitting my job is tempting. See, that's the beautiful thing about my job is that I spend a lot of time in the vehicle. So I will put him up or anybody up and watch on my rearview mirror while I'm driving. Yeah, I do that. I'm really just listening, but that's how I watch a lot of people's stuff is that way. Don't forget to like and share the stream. Yes, thank you, Fishy Mailman. Any tips on breeding Taiwan bee shrimp and what type of nanofish I could keep with them? See, there we go with what I said earlier. That's one you would want to go to Flip Aquatics for. He's the shrimp guy, and he would be the one that would definitely be able to answer that. Whatever I would tell you about breeding shrimp would be wrong. I promise you that. So, yeah, definitely go to Flip Aquatics for that. When I run into him at the Aquatic Experience, I'll ask him for you. How about that? Going to Riverside, Iowa today, the birthplace of Captain Kirk. How about that? The company that I work for, the gentleman that started the company, I'm a contractor for him. So anyway, he's from Iowa, and he was here 2 days ago at my house. And he's been to Corey Taylor from Slipknot's house. Because, I guess now knowing Captain Kirk, Shatner's from Iowa. I didn't know that, but I had always said the only thing that's ever come out of Iowa is Slipknot and Stone Sour. And he's been to the guy's house, so that's cool. I missed too much of this week while sorting my own tank. Are you going to breed cichlids? No. Oh, there we go. Oskin. Thank you, John Bedker. There's the fly. I got it today, folks. Let me get him. See, somebody helped me. Joel, you didn't do it. It's your name, and you didn't help me out with it. But John Bedker did. Thank you. Oskin. That's what I'm going to say from now on. Oskin. If it's wrong, I don't care. Demon Sonai. Fish looking amazing. Thank you. Good afternoon from Rhode Island. Welcome from Rhode Island. Hi, nice to meet you, Friday Fish Facts. Are you talking to me? No, you're probably talking to Paul Cardoza. What's up, Neil? Sad news, I checked my angel and it was dead. Tried to react and treat it quick, but I saw his sickness too late. But thanks for answering. Daggone it, Natasha. I am so sorry about that. That sucks. It's tough. I mean, a lot of times when you do run into these things, it almost is too late. It's like when the symptoms become very visual, sometimes it is too late. Really sorry to hear that. Let's see. Can Synodontis featherfin catfish go in a 75-gallon with peacocks and haps? I have 2 featherfin and a 40 breeder. I call them Synos. I've had those with peacocks and haps before. It's risky, but it can be done. Hello from Houston, Texas, USA. Love the video. And you are one of my top hobbyists that I listen to very, very carefully to make sure I'm doing my hobby correctly. Thank you so much. That is a thrill to hear stuff like that because I have a hard time believing that I deserve that kind of praise. So thank you so much for that. John, I asked a question earlier. Is it okay for me to paste it down in the chat? You better believe it, Daniel. You go right ahead. You can post it 3 or 4 times if you want. Not a problem. There's no rules here except for bad language and anything that upsets Candy. If it upsets Candy, you're out of here, buddy. So I'm talking to you. Oh, you were talking to me. Well, there you go. Nice to meet you too, Friday Fish Facts. I think you've been here before, so this isn't our first time. But anyway, got a Fahaka puffer fish and a red-tailed catfish in the same tank, and they get along great. All right. What would be your top 5 African cichlids? I've been asked that question. That would be like, what's the top 5 question you've been asked on YouTube? That one's been out there a million times. In fact, I think last time I said that, I answered a similar question. Man, you're putting me on the spot here, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. Love the Malawi trout. That is one of my absolute favorites. Love OB peacocks. Red top Lawanda peacocks. I am a sucker for Venustus. I'm going to read off a whole bunch of them here. I don't know if they're going to be all my top 5. Love the Arista Yellow Blaze. Ethylwaney peacocks, more than 5. There's a lot of them that I absolutely love. Sulfur heads. I've got a sulfur head in there. He's not really colored up. He's got the good blaze, but he's not really all that colored up, but hopefully he will be. If you can get a sulfur head that's almost black with that, that's one of the prettiest fish you've ever seen in your life. I miss John's KG fish food too. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. What are you feeding your fish? Do you have KGT's food still? I do. It's down in my basement though, and I haven't fed it. These guys, I just got them yesterday. I fed them twice, and I've been feeding them the North Fin Cichlid. Any ideas on how to keep Red Devil with other cichlids? I've done it, and it was was not the best experience. I had 2 Red Devils. People always argued with me that they were Midas. They were not. They were Red Devils, and I had them with an Oscar, and they came that close to killing that Oscar. Look back like 5 years on my channel, and you'll see I talked about it a lot. Got peacocks. This is Daniel's question that he pasted. Got peacocks on Tuesday. First time with peacocks. They're a rescue, and one is 5 inches, and the other is 3. The other 3 are 3-inch. Should I separate the large one because he is constantly chasing the other ones? Well, if you look at mine, we've got kind of the same situation going on here. We've got a big one, about 5 inches. 5 inches is big, right? Well, G-rated, folks. And then we've got others that are in there that are about 3. So we've got a very similar situation. You look at the top of the screen right now, you see Jeb. He's a big fella. And then the yellow is just right there posing for you. There's a significant size difference between the 2 of them. There's Jeb. He's like, you talking about me? I don't know where the name Jeb came from. But anyway, they're getting along fine. They've been in there 1 day, and they're getting along fine. They're not hurting each other. But, you know, if they are chasing... Here's what I tell people. If they're doing damage, then you have a problem. If they're just chasing each other around, they're just trying to establish the hierarchy in the tank. If they're not hurting each other, then you should be okay. But if you get it to where the fish are all up in the corner of the tank and your big guy is sitting there hitting them, then we have a problem. You probably should consider separating them. But if there's not any damage that's occurring, then it's probably just him making sure that they all understand that he's the boss and it should die off. Another thing to consider, I know this is a hot button item these days, and maybe it should be next week's topic on the live stream. This is one of those things that was a big shift after my break, was that everybody's saying don't overstock your African cichlid tanks now. Everybody's saying lightly stock African cichlids. It's not my philosophy. So what I'm going to suggest to you here goes completely against that. Put a few more fish in there and see if that helps out too. Kind of dissipate that aggression. Oh, I miss John's KG fish food too. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. You know, it's one of those things. I wish I could bring it back. Hello, John from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hello, Melvin's Aquatic. I don't know that last word. Earned that praise long time ago. John, well, thank you, Richard. That's very nice of you. Loot all the neons. I hate YouTube. I brought home last week. Frustrating. I think you meant to say lost, and that's a shame. Sorry about that. How much water do you change weekly? If you're asking me, 0, because I've only had this tank set up for a week. I am going to do probably 30% this afternoon. Because the tank's been sitting for a week. I just put the fish in there. I did the test, and surprisingly, I've got nitrates. Did I get that lucky? I don't know. But I'm going to do a water change this afternoon, probably about 30%. I'm going to do a video in the near future of how I'm going to maintain this tank. I've got one of the water changers that hooks up to the faucet and all of that, so it's going to be good. But that's what I'm going to do, about 30% per week, and I'm going to see how it goes. And if once I add some more fish in here, which might not be until the aquatic experience, I might buy some fish there and bring them home. So it's going to be a couple weeks, but once I put more fish in there, probably do more. And it'll probably, once I get it fully stocked where I want it to be, I'll probably end up doing 50% once a week and see if that's good enough. And if it's good enough, great. If not, then I'll increase it and maybe do that twice a week. Glad to see your... Wait, I want to make sure I didn't mix... Okay. Your videos are what taught me everything I needed to know to get into this hobby. I love hearing that. That's the best thing about doing what we do here. And I'll be like Bill Murray in Zombieland. That's why we do it. How big will your fish grow? Peacocks, 5-6 inches is going to be the most, but they're not all going to be that size. They don't all grow that big, just like, if I stood next to Shaquille O'Neal, you would see that not all humans grow to the same size either. So fish are just like that. You might have a peacock that only gets 3 inches, and then you might have one that's 7. You just never know. Please do a podcast again. Hi from the Philippines. I would love to do a podcast again, but when I was doing a podcast, I don't think there was anybody else except for Blue Zoo. And all respect to Frank, I was actually on that show a while back, and it's a really cool show, but all Blue Zoo is a commercial. Every week it's a 15, 16-minute commercial for whoever. And that's what it was for me when I was on it. I was on it like 7 years ago. And it's just a commercial is all that podcast is. So I never really considered myself competition. That's a good shot of the albino. Never considered myself competition to him. I was really the only podcast that was out there then. But now there's several. So I don't know. I love doing it, but I don't know if I'll do it again. I think the only way I would do it is if somebody like a Corey or a Joe or a Randy Reed or somebody called me and said, hey, I want to team up and do a podcast together. I would consider doing something like that. But on my own, I'm not going to do it. I don't think I have the stamina for that. And I don't think I have that much in me to do that. I need somebody to feed off of me. I wasn't trying to give you an idea, Joel. I know you and Corey have your thing. It's just saying, if something like that were to happen, then maybe I would do it. But no. But I loved the podcast. I'm sorry, Soisky. I don't think you're going to have another podcast from me, even though I did love it very much. Wow, John, love the fish tank. Very beautiful peacocks. Aren't they just beautiful? Look at them posing for you. Look at that dragon blood. Love that guy. That was the first fish I picked yesterday, was that dragon blood, and really excited about him. New to the channel, thanks for the knowledge. Been doing this hobby on and off for 40 years. Just set up my 75-gallon tank. Have started with a few Geophagus. Nice. See, once you are in this hobby, you ain't going nowhere. 40 years can go by, and you're still going to go right back into it, because that's what happens to all of us. Not opening a beer, folks. I don't drink beer. It's Coke. Of course it's Coke. Duh. Why do I always say that? Not opening a beer. Like if I was opening a beer, it would make me a bad person. I don't drink beer, but it doesn't make me a bad person if I was opening a beer. But it is 12 o'clock on a Sunday, but it's a football Sunday, so there's your excuse. Kevin Alexander, those are some pretty fish. Wow, thank you. I said Kevin. I meant to say Kenneth. Thank you. Look at them. They're just posing for you. I'm going to keep that around. That's fun. That's cool. I'm going to keep that going with every single live stream. How big do blood... Oh, I hate this chat. I hate it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go by the chat that's on the screen. I'm not going to scroll through it anymore because I'm actually kind of caught up, which means we'll probably be shutting this down here soon. Have 2 big blood parrots and smaller made. Safe place, the big ones chase them. Okay, I already did that. Glad you're back on the Fish Channel. Thank you so much. I have a local shop that is great to work with. That is part of the deal right there, Carlos. If you got that, you've got a big heads up. These days, we got to support those local shops for sure. I got a 210-gallon with mostly predator haps, and one of them is 13 inches male trout. Good for you. I love the trouts. I love them. I told you I put that number 1 on my list. Can clown loaches and redfin sharks go with Mbuna? They do well with peacocks and hap tanks. Again, I've done it. I don't know if I would do it now, though. And especially, folks, wait till you see the video that I did where I went and got these fish. They had clown loaches in their tank that I'm not exaggerating were this big. They were like 16 inches. I've never seen clown loaches that big. You wouldn't want those with Mbunas. Sorry for my grammar, John. I know you, the police. I was busy working on my new house, doing my tanks and watching you. Did you say something? Did I make fun of your grammar? I didn't mean to do that. Sorry about that. Hey, John, have you ever had apistogrammas? Any tips? I have not. I've not kept those. Sorry. I know they're popular, but I haven't kept them. I like them. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, and there hasn't been any fin nipping. So, yeah, there you go. do enough to keep nitrate under 40 ppm. Yep, you're right. Yep, water change a day. Any chance that you'll be reopening in your shop? No, I'm over that. I'm done with it. It's not going to be my thing anymore. Listen, folks, I'm going to lose a lot of people here. When you do for a living what you do as your hobby, it's not fun anymore. It's a fact. I've done it twice. Done it once with woodworking, done it once with fish keeping. It takes the fun out of it. It's nowhere near as fun as it was when it was your hobby. And I like it being my hobby. And does YouTube pay me? Yeah, it does. And I'm grateful for that. But I'm doing it because I love doing it. I'm fish keeping because I love fish keeping. I don't have this tank so that I can make money on YouTube. You know what I mean? I'm doing this because I enjoy it. And that is all that really matters. So, opening up a fish store again, it just would take the fun out of it. I want that dragon blood. You don't drink beer. I'm not sure we can be friends. Hey, you know what? I don't need to drink beer to be silly and have a good time. So we could still be friends. But when you get drunk and you want to fight and I'm sober, who's going to win that fight? Huh? You might not feel the pain, but you will the next morning. No, I'm just messing with you. No, I'm just not a drinker. I never have been. It's never been my thing. I don't dislike people who are drinkers. I'm just not. I'm not one. Lisa drinks wine. It doesn't bother me. You know. Do you miss keeping red devils or Oscars? You damn right I do. I love those fish. I absolutely love them. And I contemplated doing those. Not in this tank, but when I was coming back to fish keeping, I contemplated doing a tank. Just Oscars. I love them. I absolutely love them to death. Very clear water and nice fish. Do you use Chemi-Pure Blue in your filter? I do not. I did not put that in there. I've got Purigen, I've got Zeocarb, I've got Carbon, and then and that's it. That's what I put in there. Be looking for the video on that, which I have to record again because the one I did yesterday, the audio was crap. I will drink beer for you, John. That's fine. You do it. If we go to an event and there's a free beer ticket, you can have my tickets. Love watching the fish as I listen to you. Kept that fish cam. Oh, I'm keeping it. Yeah, that's fun. That's going to be really cool. It's gonna be here to stay. Go Giants. No, go you off of this chat because no Giant fans allowed in here. Yesterday when I was at the store, of course I'm kidding with you, Carlos. You know that. But when I was at the store, I was filming, and I panned over, and a gentleman was walking up with a Dallas Cowboys shirt on, and I said, "Oh man, I can't get you on camera, and my camera's gonna blow up." And we had a good time with going back and forth, but I had actually pushed stop, so I didn't get it on film. It bothered me. I wish I could have, but that was a lot of fun. I love having fun with fans of different teams, and that's all I'm doing with you here, Carlos. I'm not a Giants fan. When starting a second tank, what's the best way to use an established tank's media to help the cycle? Make that water as dirty as possible. Pull over stuff from the first tank, your filter media, whatever's gross, put it in there. If you can swing it, some of your substrate, stuff like that. We talked about it last week, so I'm not going to go all over it again. But things that have the bacteria on it, transfer over. But don't do it all because then you're going to have to recycle your original tank. So, John, have you seen Blue Dragon Bloods? Yes, I absolutely have, and they are glorious. Look at that one, though. Seriously. Hey, John, greetings from Iowa. I was wondering if you had any thoughts on BioHome Ultimate Biomedia Force a canister filter before hang on back. And P.S. I'm doing my job today. Water changes. Nice. I was working on the banner, wanting it to be do your job, and I screwed it all up. So I still got to work on that. But no, that's awesome. I'm not I'm not somebody that can really comment on the ultimate bio medium. I don't know. I don't even know what it is that you're talking about. I've been out for a while. Corvus Askin, I said it right. Respect for both of you and John. It's like shrimp and plants meet cichlids, and for everything else, Corey. And that's my weekly YouTube binge. Nice. Yeah, I mean, those are 3 good channels to watch, and if you put me in that category, that's a real thrill for me. Kevin Cichlid says, "Oi! Some people consider that to be a bad word. That's like a skinhead thing, Kevin. You know that, right? Maybe in California it's not, but here that's like a skinhead thing. So I'm not a skinhead. Don't even try it. I know I'm bald, but oh God, what just happened? Anyway, getting ready for work. Love those peacocks, John. Thank you, Kevin. And you might not have even heard me just break your balls there. That's a lot of fun. Beer is my other hobby. That's good. Carlos DeValia has decided to become a member, and that's after I broke his balls over the Giants. But hey, you are now a member of the team, so I will tolerate you being a Giants fan, and that's going to be totally fine. Thank you for that. I'm going to thank everybody again when we wind up here. Go Packers. Yeah, they didn't go last week, did they? Or 2 weeks ago. They let a team like the Redskins beat them. Made a receiving core, made the Packers secondary look like a pile of poo out there on the field. Really? Come on. But I'm a fan of the Packers too. Packers are my second team. So yeah, I agree. Go Packers. Usually I end up rooting for them at the end of the season when the Redskins are out. My female cichlid was holding and it's not holding anymore and won't eat. What should I do? Manuel Puentes. I know somebody named Puentes. It could be that she is holding. You just don't see it because in the beginning, their mouths are really bulged out. And once those eggs start to develop and they turn into a little fish, everything kind of compacts and it's not as blown up. And she still won't be eating. So it could be that going on. Could be that something with the pregnancy made her sick. It's hard to say. When she gets hungry enough, she'll eat unless she is, in fact, sick. And that would be a shame. I'm more into South American cichlids, but none are available in my area. All my local fish stores are saltwater only. I need access to larger electric blue Jack Dempsey's. Yeah, those are tough to find. And you don't find them too much in stores. And when they are in stores, they go quick. I've got a friend that breeds them. But he's not going to sell them to you because he's not going to ship them anywhere. So unless you live in Virginia, it's not really going to do any good for you. How many fish are you putting in that tank? I haven't decided yet. I'm just going to keep adding it until everything kind of gets balanced. I'll probably end up with 18. I'm not going to go overboard. I am a overstock to keep aggression down person. If you think that we ought to cover that next week, then I'd be happy to do that because I know that is something that's been a topic of debate lately, or at least I've seen a few videos about it. I'd be happy to talk about that next week. But yeah, I'm not going to go crazy here, but I'm gonna have it looking nice for sure. What am I missing? We're gonna go a couple more of these, and then we're. I forgot to make the biggest announcement of all. Look at me. I told you I was not prepared. How many people are in here? 179. Yeah, the numbers are going down. If you're still watching, folks, I forgot to mention this. I'm going to move the live stream. I'm going to move it to Thursday nights. I'll do a more formal announcement of this. Going to move it to Thursday nights. And the main reason why is because doing this on Sundays, I love it. It's fun. I love doing it on Sundays. I love coming in here and hanging out with you. But there's two reasons why I'm going to change it. For one, basically my entire Sunday is blown after I do this. And it's not that I don't enjoy myself. It's just like I'm worn out after this and it's hard to really do anything else. But there's not only that, doing it at 11 a.m. makes it difficult for my friends over on the West Coast. So I'm going to switch it. I'm going to switch it to Thursday nights at 8 p.m. starting this Thursday. And because I didn't make a formal announcement in the beginning of this live stream, I'll probably still do next Sunday. I don't know. And then the Sunday after that is going to be the aquatic experience. So I'm going to do a live stream there, do a walkthrough of it. So, I mean, maybe the Sunday streams are going to continue for a couple of weeks, but I am going to switch it permanently to Thursdays. And that's going to happen. So let's start to wind things down here. Kevin is now I'm a skinhead. No, you are absolutely not. But you know what I'm saying, right? That was like a big thing in like skinhead music. Oi, that was like a big thing back, like hardcore skinhead punk rock. But anyway, whatever. I was making a joke and it was terrible because I'm the one that has no hair and I'm the one that said that. So, all right, we got a hail to the Redskins. We got a pile of poo. I like to hear that. I thought it was a brutish thing. British thing, maybe is what you thought. And maybe it is. I don't know. John, what would be your top 3 predator haps? The ones I said before. Fusco, Malawi trout, Venustus. Are those considered predator haps? I don't know. I don't know if they are or not, but that's definitely is. What time does this channel start each week? Well, we just talked about that, Carlos. It's 11 a.m. for now. For the next couple of weeks, it's going to be 11 a.m. on Sundays. But starting this Thursday at 8 p.m., I'll be on here live too. 8 p.m., 5 p.m. to me. Yeah, see, that's perfect because people like Judy B aren't going to have to set an alarm clock to watch me on Sunday mornings. Thanks for another insightful stream. Thank you. Patriots, just say first, whatever. It must be easy being a Patriots fan. It's a nice life. Yes, Thursday would be way better. Can't wait. That sucks Thursday. Oh, sorry about that. Ellis, too. Sorry about that. I'll be there on Thursdays too. Nice. Oh, snap. Thursdays is when I'm off usually. See, that's why I'm doing it, because I want to make sure Kevin Green can be on these, even though he's a, never mind. Hey, John, been great. Got to go get some water changes done in the Angelfish breeding room. Thank you there, Dan. I appreciate it. And cheers. Guess I don't get you back Thursday. Won't work for me. Sorry. Hey, John, this was a Biomedia Buy Home Ultimate. Okay, we already talked about that. Thursdays at 5 by the time. I am still on my way home. See, Judy, as long as you got a good cell signal, do what I was doing. Just put it on and listen to me. You probably got Bluetooth in your car, so just listen to me talking, and then we'll all be happy. Everything will be cool. It'll be a great way to have something to entertain you while you're on your way home. It's perfect. So, all right, going to wind down here, folks. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to thank everybody again personally, because that is what I do. I want to thank all of the new members. We're going to go back to Nisi, NISI, Paul Martin, Candy Overhauls, Nail Tech 629, Kenneth Alexander, Vince Grippa, Judy CB, Alan Wilson, Natasha Stone, Carlos Nieves, Mike De Oliveria, Carlos Davila. Whew, you all are pushing me to my limits today with trying to do these pronunciations. Thank you all so much for becoming new members of the channel. Folks, if you're not a member yet, you should join because we're going to have all kinds of fun. But thank you to those who have already joined, and thank you again to Zhu Ping 2 for the $10 super chat, and Wes Barshinger for the $2 super chat, and my new member and new friend Judy CB for the $2 super chat. Thank you all so much for those today. This has been a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing you this Thursday at 8 p.m. And you can also be looking for. Did I thank Alan Wilson too? Did I include him in there? Because I see you just. I hope I did. I hope I didn't forget you. Be looking for the video of going and getting these fish. I'm going to try to record that today and put that out tomorrow. But my upload schedule is also going to change. And that's going to be, I'm going to upload videos on Sundays and then my live streams on Thursdays. And I'm going to try to throw another video in there during the week too. So thank you for watching today. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me on Thursday. Thank you for everything that you do. And thank all of the new members and super chats. This has been a blast. So there's that one last thing that I have to say at the end of every video, and I remember what it is. Folks, these fish that you have in your tank that you're looking into right now as you're watching this stream, these are living things. They are not decorations. Do your job. Get off your ass, do your job, and take care of your fish. Thank you so much for watching today, and I look forward to seeing you on Thursday.